Lockport's biggest issue that you can be a part of the solution?
Well, Lockport's biggest issue right now is the same issue in any community in the United States. We have a lousy economy, okay? We have homes being foreclosed upon. We have taxes being raised, okay? We can't cut everything out. We can't shut the government down and then pat ourselves on the back and say, look what we do, we save taxpayers money. But we have to go ahead and say, look, we have to look at these things, and we have to go ahead and be fiscally conservative, whatever that means. I think it's frugal. Okay, we need to be frugal with our money. Okay, and sometimes we might have to do something that is, and the thing is, we're being fiscally conservative. Every person in this room has a different definition of what that means, okay? Sure, I like to see commercial development. Who would? They want to see commercial development out in Homer Glen, Joliet, Lockport. We've got this great place out there at 355, okay? I don't know the reason why there isn't any development out there. I have asked for the last 3.5 years, okay? There is some reason why we do not have development up at that corner. I haven't been part of the process. I haven't been one of the people voting. I can't get that information, the inside information. But we need to have commercial development, absolutely, okay? We have to risk sometime in the future, the economy is going to break, and it's going to improve. And we have, in Lockport, we have residential. We have over 2,000 residential units have been, and they've already been recommended for development. Homer Glen has 3,000 square acres, zone residential. Okay, we have to be ready for it. Okay, and so I'm just asking for your endorsement. I think that I'm the only candidate that can. I've been there. I've been to meetings for 3.5 years. I'm the only one that can step right in, heard arguments for 3 years, and can make a decision based upon what I know, not what somebody's telling me.
Any more questions for Darren? Go ahead, George.
Darren, in the November ballot, you had a tax question.
Yes.
And your Republican background see it as a false choice, use municipal tax or sales tax.
My choice.
What about third choice?
The choice that I would have liked was yes or no on the 5% utility tax. That was my original thought. And let the people of Lockport self-determine. Yes, we think roads are important, or no, we don't. And so we would have nobody to blame but ourselves if we did not fund the roads. Okay? So that evolved into sales tax. Then we got put behind the 8 ball. Okay? We had 4 members of City Council and the mayor vote yes to impose a 5% utility tax on us. So then it was an either-or thing. Okay? And so I told people, there is no third option. There is none of the third option is none of the above. We didn't have that option. Okay? So.
All right, well, thank you. And Denise, you're up, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Phyllis. My name is Denise Marynowski, and I've lived in Lockport for almost 6 years. I have spent most of my life as an independent voter, never a Democrat. After moving to Lockport and becoming involved in politics, it became increasingly clear to me that the Republican Party is the party that cares, and I want to be a member of the Republican Party. Jim Lausch has agreed to let me be a member, an assistant precinct committeeman in our precinct. And I have notified the county clerk that I am committing to the Republican Party and will no longer serve as a Democratic election judge, which had been the clerk's assignment. I have always been a conservative, and I now want to officially belong to the party of my beliefs and my conscience, the Republican Party, the party of the people, the God-fearing party, and the party of hope for this country. I am a pragmatic conservative who is fed up with the tax and spend politicians. We have been in a recession for over 3 years. Years and years of, as everyone has pointed out, lost jobs, home foreclosures. We even have them in our community of Lago Vista. There's been lost businesses, which is why that land is sitting empty, over around 355. And there's financial hardship. And yet some of our elected representatives continue to place their wants above real need and continue to tax the tax burdens on the citizenry. The gravy train they expected to come in at 355, and we've heard this over and over, isn't coming. So now they've decided to take aim at the taxpayer and hit us with round after round of taxes and increased costs on our basic services and needs. Our current alderman, John Crows, has repeatedly ignored the pleas and desires of his constituents. After he voted to increase our water rates about 46%, he immediately joined in the group to increase our utility and telecommunication taxes. I am running because I believe I would be an effective alderman. I am conscientious. I would research any issues brought before me. I don't just take the word of someone else. My temperament and sense of duty, I believe, would work well. I would work well with others and accomplish things. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for considering.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
Denise?
Yes.
Have you contacted Mr. Crows regarding your feelings on some of the things that he's voted on? Have you physically?
Oh, you bet.
Okay, very good. That's what I
Yes,
just want to make sure.
definitely. In fact,
Fourth Ward has very active residents, let me tell
I
you.
know they do, Kevin, yeah. I
No,
was
I'm
just
just
wondering
saying,
how
no, I'm
active.
just saying in general, there's a lot of
when this
benefit.
whole discussion was going on, I presented Mr. Crows and the entire board a petition that I had gotten signed by over 100 residents just in my community about how hard that 5% tax would be on us. I mean, there just was no sympathy. I mean, we're his constituents, and he didn't care. He was with this group that was bound and determined, and they didn't need our permission to do these utility taxes. That was the whole problem. You know, it wasn't that the citizens could do anything about it. And so we had to come up with another solution.
Just curious how active you've been, because I know you already mentioned a couple of things, how active he's been, so.
Yes, and I am president of our homeowners association, and I am very active in our community, which brought me to the city council meetings, and I began participating in that, and I decided to run for the reason I have stated. I believe that I can work with people and I can watch out for our money, because I know John Crows doesn't belong representing the people if he won't listen to what his people want.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd just like to point out that there are 4 candidates on the ballot for Fourth Ward Alderman.
Okay.
John Crows and Tom Quinn are also Republicans.
Okay, we're going to vote on these two, and
I'd like a comment.
oh, go ahead.
I've worked with Denise. I'm a supporter. I think what we have is a very practically oriented person. Remember that many of us, including myself and Ronald Reagan, were Democrats at one point. I know there are other people here who probably did the same thing. Don't make a hasty judgment on that. Think in terms of who's going to be able to work best with the city council and, most importantly, with the constituents. I think taken a very conservative approach, very frugal approach throughout my 2 years on the city council myself. I've suffered the slings and arrows from either 5, sometimes only 4 people in opposition on the city council. But I think we've made an impact. I see Denise as being a positive force along with the others that have been endorsed so far. Thank you.
All right, let's get the box around, please.
No. It's enough. That's a prize, man.
Got a hunch, got a bunch. How many you have? 21, okay, you ready on the tally sheet? No, one more. All right, we have one more after this, so here we go.